Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Norfolk Advisory Committee to order. I will take attendance first. Jonathan Hurwitz. Here. Brian Beachkowski. Here. Rob Garrity. Here. Gary Moore.
Here.
Thank you. David Lutz here. We have a very short agenda tonight. We're going to talk about the budget situation right now and vote on the article of budget. And we have two CPC articles that we have to deal with as well. Justin has got a limited time availability, so I'm gonna go to the budget discussion first, if that's okay with everyone. Justin, you're on, and a couple of our select people are here. We can hear from them if necessary.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the flexibility as well. Sorry I'm not there in person, but last night the select board voted to rescind the ARPA appropriations that I had discussed at the previous advisory meeting. So they voted to rescind that, and we presented a budget that included those ARPA, an ARPA amount as well as free cash to balance the budget. We sent over the general packet that we presented to the board as well that represents that balanced budget. They voted to approve the fiscal year 24 budget as presented. So, I think we highlighted what that plan was last week, and nothing has changed. Essentially, the board voted on it last night.
Great. Does anyone have any questions? We prepared to vote on this. I'd like to get a motion on Article 6, which is the town's fiscal year 2024 budget.
I move to approve Article 6 as will be printed in the warrant.
Second. All in favor? I have to do a roll call. I'm sorry. Kiara Moore,
Yes.
Rob Garrity,
Aye.
Brian Beachkowski.
Yes.
John Hurst.
Yes.
David Lutz. Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have two CPC articles to deal with. Why don't we do this simple one first, and the easy one first? We've been asked to reconsider a vote that we took on Article 22, which is the Town Hill article. The CPC is interested in IPing that and bringing it back probably at the fall town meeting. So I would like a motion to reconsider our vote on Article 22.
Move to reconsider our vote on Article 22.
Second. Okay, all in favor of that, Rob Garrity,
Yep.
Brian Beachkowski.
Yes.
John Hurwitz. Yes. Kiara Moore.
Yes.
All right, I would now like to entertain a motion on indefinitely postponing.
Do you want to vote?
I did. David Lewis.
Oh,
Aye. There we go. Thank you. I need a motion to indefinitely postpone Article 22.
Move to indefinitely postpone Article 22.
Second.
Okay, great. I'll take a roll call vote. David Lutz, yes. Jonathan Hurwitz,
Yes.
Brian Beachkowski,
Yes.
Rob Garrity,
Aye.
Kiara Moore.
Yes.
Great.
Do we have any color commentary as to why we are IPing this?
They learned something new, and that's all I know. So we'll learn more about that at the fall in our preparation for the fall meeting, I'm assuming. We also have to discuss Article 20, which is the funds for the Grange. I did do some calling around in that conversation. Cindy Andre, who's the chair of the CPC. The general sort of approach for a lot of historic commission things is to get from the recipient, in this case the Grange, something in return, either a restriction on the property, which already exists, or opening it up to the public, which already exists. So those are the sort of standard practices that the Community Interpretation Coalition is aware of in dealing with these. In my conversations with Cindy, I did raise our concerns about sort of the approach that the Grange has on capital maintenance, capital budgeting. She's not sure how they can address that through the grant itself. But she said she'd be willing to host a meeting that I could attend or we could attend. Discuss that with them. We also talked about the idea of having some sort of something in the grant agreement that would give the town a reduced rate. Which I actually find a little bit sort of odd if we're also asking to start putting money for capital budgeting. But at this point, I'm inclined to go with the articles written and try to deal with this offline. Cindy said something that she doesn't think she could also put in the grant, which would be that they would not be able to come back for funds for capital improvements for some period of time. But that avoids the possibility that there's a disaster or something like that.
Mhm.
Would make that provision difficult. I also did discuss that with Cindy, and she agreed that the idea that as the pressure on property taxes builds in town, the idea that we could see a push to eliminate the CPA assessment permanently, or suspended or something, which all of which are possibilities, could become more problematic, making their use of the historic preservation portion of the funds give it a sort of a lifespan that could end at some point. We don't have a lot of historic properties in town, unfortunately. They struggle to spend the 10%, which they're required to set aside. There really are only really 4 kind of possible uses for that. And they're all in this building right here. I mean, really hard to think for a lot. It's the library, it's the tramp house, it's the Grange and the church. I mean, publicly accessible.
Not what Old Town Hall is not.
I don't think it's.
Mm,
I don't think. I mean, I guess theoretically they could propose something that would qualify for it, but it would have to be for a major rehab of that building.
We're
before was
knocking it over?
or That wouldn't count as historic preservation.
I guess it's.
John, yeah.
No one may know the answer to this question. It's kind of hypothetical, but I'd ask anyway. If there was a point in the future when the CPC allocation was rescinded, what would happen with money that they're allowed to hold?
They would have to see,
It
I think this committee itself would continue and they would continue this.
So it's not that money is collected but yet unspent that we return to.
County taxpayers, property owners. No. That would be a really difficult process too, given the fact that people may have paid in and moved out of town and you then have responsibility to track all those folks down. Who lived in town for 20 years and then moved the year before we did. But I don't think that's I've heard of this happening. I've heard they just basically spend the money out until it's gone. So, with all that being said, does anyone have any further comments or questions? Great.
Sorry, one.
Yeah, sure.
Comment slash question. Okay. You indicated that it's not going to be written into what we're discussing here, but it was mentioned by Cindy of potentially putting a time frame of when we can come back. That's not part of what we're voting on. I mean,
We're either voting on the articles written.
right. So that comment is that, but there's nothing preventing them from doing that. It's my understanding. We asked for 40, but we really need 80.
No, actually, and that's, we did talk about the budget and at the meeting we had now. Sense that this was a higher budget than they thought they needed for that.
Yeah.
So that they wouldn't have to worry about it coming back.
So if this is a higher budget than what they needed, what happens with money you can spend?
They don't get to spend it.
Yeah.
So the way
They invoice,
and we reimburse for this pay invoice.
they reimburse. So there is no chance that they will spend more than, or have more than.
The original ask was 26. But Cindy said they put in for 40 just to cover.
All right. Cool. Can I get a motion on Article 20, please?
I move that we adopt Article 20 as printed in the warrant.
Second. I will take a roll call vote on that. Rob Garrity,
Aye.
Brian Beachkowski.
Aye.
Darren Moore,
Yes.
Tom Roberts,
Yes.
David Lutz, yes. Okay, Article 20 is adopted. That is the business before the committee tonight. We do not have any minutes. We should actually schedule a meeting for right before town meeting. Which is.
May 17th.
What?
May 17th.
We also have to find someone to do the recommendation for.
Oh, good point. Does anyone want to write the record? Who had it last time? You were supposed to do the article, the gazebo, the town hill write-up?
I did.
Oh, no, the Grange is point. Sorry.
Trying to do the big one already, but
Oh, okay,
we need somebody to do that.
I'll take it.
okay, great. So if you could get, I don't know if you've submitted the rest of the recommendations yet.
I'll get to it tonight.
And I think I mentioned Mike told me that he did this tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
He's in Scotland right now. And I let him have some fun. He's bringing me some hacks. No, he's not.
Better than.
So why don't we schedule a meeting for, we have to go over, a couple things there, order after 6. Does that sound reasonable? When we do 6, we always have too much time, and when we do 6:30, I always kind of feel rushed, so. Schedule a meeting for 6:15 on May 17th.
Yeah, they'll let us know where. and do it usually.
Great.
No meetings between now and.
No meeting between now and then, unless for some emergency reason we can schedule something. I hope. Do you see any reason we might have to have a meeting before then, Justin?
No, I don't see any reason why we would.
Great, thank you. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, say aye. We are adjourned.